Hey, on this episode of Stories of Possibility, some ideas and stories to give you some inspiration and hope. I'm talking about the quotes that I have in my book, It's All Possible, and why I use the quotes. Rather than randomly throw in quotes, I actually selected the quotes. They have meant a lot to me, and I thought you might enjoy them as well. The one today is from the great Muhammad Ali. His quote is, "Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it." It is such an incredible quote, and I'd encourage you to read it 2 or 3 times, because I did, and I still do, and I still get amazed by this quote. And here's something about change that I've learned, is that most people are okay with change. Most people are really happy about change, as long as they don't have to change. They're very happy for change to occur as long as it doesn't affect them. And so it's a big thing. Most people will fight change. And many people who want to change things, and you've got all these ideas in your head and you want to do this for the better, and it makes sense from you logically and emotionally, you're enrolled in it. I'm telling you now, it's a tough battle, right? It's a tough battle. The kind of percentages I work on now, especially if you're trying to get change inside an organization of any size, use the percentages, is this. About 20% of the people are totally getting it. They understand you. They're into it. They want to do it. They're what they call change warriors. They're kind of, yes, we can do this. This makes so much sense. But then underneath that, there's about 30% who are actually invested in no change whatsoever. They will fight you all the way. Then there's about 30% who are actually okay with change. It doesn't affect them, like I was talking about before. And there's about the remaining 20% are kind of sitting on the fence, just working out where it'll go. So in rough numbers, it's kind of 20% into it, 30% definitely don't want it, and about 50% on the fence if they can be convinced to go with change or not go with change. So change is hard. So one of the things you've got to be, especially if you're in leadership, is you've got to be a good at influence. If you can't influence, you're never going to get change through. And you have to look for people to increase that 20%. 20% is not enough to get change done. And the best way you get change is by having a great leader like a Muhammad Ali, who was an inspirational leader, who then creates an inspired vision. And we all believed it. When we found Muhammad Ali, that the causes he went for, he got people behind him, and he rallied troops because he could speak well, he could influence well. You've got to rally those troops. I was talking about Apple in one of my previous ones, and I'm going to show you this today. This is just a picture from the original, back in 1984. This is a photo from 1984. This is actually Steve Jobs. You can see him there right in the middle down the bottom. That's a team that was committed to getting the Apple Macintosh, the first one to market. It's so exciting, isn't it? That was a team right around him. They were so passionate about this project, about getting it to market. They're change warriors, right? And if you want to get change done, you've got to find lots of change warriors.